Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat shalom. Hey, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat shalom. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Good Shabbos. I'm so happy to see you all. I am going to invite you to wish a good Shabbos or Shabbat shalom to somebody you haven't said hello to yet. Or if there's somebody new around you, introduce yourselves. Say hello. We wish everybody good Shabbos. Well, I am just so glad to see you all this evening. How nice to be together on this gorgeous, what a beautiful day, huh? Like the most perfect day. It was so nice out. I'm so glad to be together. We're going to continue celebrating Shabbat. We are on page 7. We're going to sing Yedid Nefesh at the top of page 7. Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Yedid nefesh av harachaman, Meshoch avdecha el ritzonecha, Meshoch avdecha yai lai 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 al ritzonecha. Ya'arutz avdecha kemo hayal, yishtachave lai 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 el muhadarecha. Ya'arutz avdecha kemo hayal, yishtachave lai 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 ya lai 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 el muhadarecha. So this evening we have something really special and exciting. This week Josh went to the mikvah for his official dip, and I'm so excited to officially welcome him and offer him a blessing. And I'm going to invite the whole Bebout family to come up and help us light candles. Yay! Woo! Come on up. Yeah. Okay, come on over towards the candles. Yeah, yes, please. So I don't know if you may not have met yet Johanna and Yulin and Yannick, and they are Josh's family. And this is Josh. If you're a service regular, you know Josh. We're just. I'm going to give you a blessing after this, but I'm just so excited to have your enthusiasm and your family as a part of our family. We love having kiddos here, and we love having you guys here. So if you would, I'm going to ask you to read this a little bit of English together, and then you can light the candles, and I'll help you with the melody if you want.
As the Shabbat candle lights all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech shanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Shabbos. I'm going to invite you guys to the ark to offer a blessing. Will you all rise with me while we open the ark? Will you help me open the ark? Okay. So find this. This is the handle, right? So pull back. Ready? 1, 2. Yep. Perfect. Beautiful. Awesome. Okay. Come on over. So Josh. We got to have the unbelievable joy this week of being with you as your status officially changed. But one of the things that has been very clear to me from the beginning, since you started this journey, is that you've always been here. There's no question to me that you were standing amongst us at Sinai. We were standing there together. So my prayer for you as you go forward in this journey is that you never stop learning, which is an easy prayer for me to say over you because I know that to be true about you. You will never stop reading a book. And that you will always feel like these words are your words to struggle with, to enjoy, to engage with, to be a part of, and that your family will find meaning in the mashup of cultures and the excitement of finding something new and meaningful here. You are always welcome in our home, and we are always happy to have you be a part of our community. And I hope that wherever you go, in whatever place you are, you find yourself at home in any Jewish space. May you continue to brighten the spaces that you go. May you continue to find joy in our practice, and may you continue to ask really great questions. Mazel tov. Siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, siman tov. Yehelanu, 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 Olecho Yisrael. Yehelanu, Yehelanu, Olecho Yisrael. Siman tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, siman tovu, mazel tovu, siman tov. Yehelanu, mazel tov. We're so happy for you. May you wear this talit at many more joyous and wonderful occasions. Thank you for helping me light the candles and open the ark. You did a beautiful job. Oh, my pleasure. What a joy. This is my job is so great. So we're going to continue celebrating with Lecha Dodi on page 14. Will you join me? Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela la la la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, penei Shabbat nekavela. Shamor v'zachor b'dibor echad, Yishmiyanu el hameyuchad, Adonai echad u'shmo echad, L'shem tiferet v'livchi la 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 la, Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, ki hi makor haberacha, merosh mikadem nasucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshavat tfila la la la. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekavela. Hitoreri, Kiva orech kumiori, uri, shir daveri, Kevod Adonai elechni la 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 la, Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekavela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala, gam b'simcha u'b'tzola, toch emunei am segula, boi chala. Lecha lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekavela la lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekavela. Lecha dodi, likra kala, pene Shabbat nekavela. We are going to continue with the Chatzi Kaddish on page 17, our prayer of transition from one part of the service to the next, which allows us a moment for gratitude and praise. Yivgadal v'yikadash shemei rabba, be'alma divarach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'hayedecho be'Yisrael. Ba'agala, uvizman kariv, v'imeru, amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevorach, le'olam lal me'omaya, yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar, v'yitramam, v'yitnaseh, v'yitadar, v'yitale, v'yitalal, Shemei Dekudusha Barichu Le'ela Min Kol Birchata V'Shirata Tushbechata V'Nechemata Ta'amiran Velma Ve'imeru Amen. I invite you to rise for Baruchu, page 18. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Yai la 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 la. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. HaMevorach, HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. I invite you to take a seat. Will you pray with me in the English at the top of page 20? Somewhere at the fringes of night, the shadows of darkness soften, and earth comes alive with hints of light. My heart fills with fresh, bright hope, and the world stirs to give birth to color. Colors are secrets not seen in the dark, like the promise of God when darkness is visible. Creator, you who bring dawn from the darkness, break the used goblets of my yesterdays. Let me find wisdom in the shards and grow in knowledge of your eternal presence. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv aravim. Blessed are you, Almighty One, who makes the evenings fall. Amen. We turn to the bottom of that same page for Ahavat Olam, our prayer for gratitude for the everlasting, the Ahavat, the love, and Olam is everlasting, that God has given us and that we in turn give God. Ahavat Olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta, otanu limadeta. Al ken Adonai Eloheinu v'shofenu v'kumenu nasiach bechukecha v'nismach v'divrei toratecha uv'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed ki hem chayenu ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla, nege yomam v'layla. Ve'ahavat asir, mimenu le'olamim. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. Ohev amo Yisrael. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha bechol levavecha ubechol nafshecha ubechol me'otecha V'hayu hadvarim ha'ela asher anochi metzavecha hayom alevavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam v'shivtecha b'beitecha u'lechtecha b'derech Uveshochbecha uvekumecha ukshartam leot al yadecha v'hayula totafo beineinecha uchtavtam etacha uvisharecha. Bottom 24. Leman tiskaru v'asitem ekol mitzvotai Vitem kedoshim lelohechem Ani Adonai Elohechem Asher hotzeti etchem Me'eretz Mitzrayim Liot lachem lelohim Ani Adonai Elohechem. I'm going to continue with Micha Mocha on the next page. Yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai Mi chamocha ne'edar b'kodesh Nora tehilo tosei fele Nora tehilo tosei fele Malachutecha ra'u v'necha Bokei hayam lifnei Moshe u'Miriam Za'elianu ve'amru Za'elianu ve'amheru Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Adonai imloch le'olam va'ed Yai lai lai yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 yai lai 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 V'ne'emar kifat Adonai et Yaakov Ugalo meyad hazak mimenu. Baruch atah Adonai. Ka'al Yisrael. So we're going to sing Hashkivenu, a prayer, in a second. If you're newer to this prayer book, the words that are coming out of my mouth may not necessarily be on the page. It just is what it is. So Hashkivenu is like allow us to lie down, and then the words are. I use the word shomrenu instead of malkenu, which is, you'll see it in there. The word shomrenu means guard us, and malkenu means rule us. And guard feels better for me, but that doesn't mean that I don't say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam in the same breath. So I get it, but this is just where I've decided to make a differentiation. You can use whatever version you want. We'll do some of the Hebrew at the top of the page, and then some of the English at the bottom of page 27. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Oh, guide my steps and help me find my way. I need your shelter now. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps and help me make this day a song of praise to you. So rock me in your arms and guide my steps. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom v'hamidenu shomreinu lechaim. I invite you to turn with me to page 51. When you're ready, I invite you to rise. We're going to do a couple rounds of ananas, so you can stand when you're ready. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Ananana Adonai. Ananana svatai tiftach. Ananana ufi agid. Ufi agid tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu Elohe Abraham, Elohe Yitzhak, Elohe Yaakov, Elohe Sarah, Elohe Rivka, Elohe Leah, Elohe Rachel, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מחכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ברופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל HaKadosh. So I'm going to invite you now to remain standing or be seated and to finish the prayers on the following pages or to say the prayers of your heart, and we'll join back together in a few moments. אלוהי נצור לשונים עמה, ושפתי מדבר עמה, ולמקלת לי נפשי תדום, לנפשי כפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. אלוהי נצור לשונים עמה, ושפתי מדבר עמה, ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום, לנפשי כפר לכל תהיה אלוהי, אלוהי. פתח ליבי, פתח ליבי, פתח ליבי, betoratecha. Elohai Netzor Leshonir Mima. V'damer Mima. V'lim kalalai nafshi tidom v'nashi kafar choti Elohai. Elohai. Yehiyu leratzon imrei fi. V'hegyon libi lefanecha. Adonai. Adonai, Adonai, Tzori, Adonai, Tzori, Vegoali. I love that we say those words at the end of this, at the end of the Amidah. They're on page 61, by the way, in case you weren't following along. Sorry, that's my bad. But the thing that's interesting about the words that we say in a lot of our prayers, including in here, is while they are based in Psalms or Job, like Oseh Shalom comes from Job, or whatever, they were actually the words of the sages. These were the actual prayers of somebody that got written down and put into our prayer book, which reminds me of two things. The first thing is that we should also be saying our own prayers, right? Like our job is not just to say the words of other people, but also to say the things that work for us. And number two, it feels really nice to be connected to our ancestors in that kind of way. Today I had a really interesting experience. Oh, surprise, I'm talking to you. Shabbat Shalom. I had a really interesting experience today. I got to witness the ordination of a dear friend of mine. She is involved with Kohenet, which is the sort of it was started by Rabbi Jill Hammer. It's a movement of women. They basically call themselves priestesses. And it didn't make a lot of sense to me, and there's still some elements of it that I find a little confusing, just because of the way that I learned, and like it's just different. But one of the coolest things is this ordination ceremony was very different from my own. Right, my ceremony was very we all walk up and read out of the thing, and then the hands on the head and the whole bit. This was much more like it was much more earth connected and connected to ancestors and connected to the divine feminine in a different way. And this group of people, we actually have a Kohenet in our community. Sky Rakia is a Kohenet also, and she was ordained by the same group of priestesses. And I think when I first heard about them, I was even like, ooh, the word priest is here. That's good. But as I learn more about Judaism, which thank God will never stop, I feel more and more comfortable with the idea that people connect to Judaism in different ways, right? So like the Kohanot, these folks are connected to Judaism through this divine feminine, through this priestessness, through this idea of what were Jews doing in all these things that we sort of hear about in today's world that to me, I was like, oh, that's not Jewish. You hear about people like saging things. Well, sage is actually, right? I know Jan loves a sage situation, right? Sage is actually not an herb that comes from us. And so I've always felt a little weird about it because I was like, oh, how do you, right? It's a Native American, that comes from the Native American tradition. And so I've always been like, ugh, it doesn't feel quite right. But then because my friend was doing this program, oh wait, we learned with April in January. She taught something about, she did the resilience workshop that I took in January that a lot of people took. So she taught me that actually hyssop and cedar and garlic and salt and all those are actually that's what this was used for. It was protection, and it gave me another way into finding connections in Judaism in an earthly way that I sometimes recoil at the idea of some of that. It feels like more woo-woo to me, but actually the reality is that I quite like it. Surprise. I love to tell the seventh graders, surprise, we're learning about Judaism when like they don't think we are, and then all of a sudden, surprise, Judaism. It's like, that's how I feel about this. It's this idea of like connection with ancestors is actually something we've always done. Right? It's in our prayers. Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, the God of all these people. We read the Torah every week. That's our ancestors too. And so the idea of learning the practices that people were using, these ancient practices, and being able to apply them in a modern way feels very new to me, and what a wonderful thing to have a new layer of Judaism. And I've always I said for a long time, this is a confessional moment here, that meditation, that's not us, right? Meditation comes from Buddhism. And that's their practice, and it's not our practice. Surprise, turns out not true. Not true. I learned that in rabbinical school. It blew my mind. I was like, oh yeah, people have been sitting quietly and waiting for answers forever. Yeah, right? Like, I just think about the burning bush. Like, that moment, Moses had to be quiet in order to hear what was going on, right? Or the moments of like prophets waiting to hear things. Now, I'm not calling all of us prophets. I'm not saying that, but I am saying like people from the Kabbalah were meditating on individual letters of Shema, right? That is in our practice. And to me, it gave me permission to explore other ways of connecting that didn't feel Jewish, whatever that means. Because as it turns out, if it feels right to you, then it probably feels pretty Jewish. Or if it feels Jewish, like the idea that one group of people gets to own, like, this is our thing and you don't get to do that, that doesn't really work, right? Because as it turns out, religions were sort of all developing at the same time, So it was a really, it was a beautiful ceremony today. And I don't usually, on Friday afternoons, I'm usually sort of trying to wind down the emails and like go towards the spirituality piece of my job, because that's what we do here in the evenings, less emails. And I don't always get a chance to do that. Like last week, I was sending emails to like 5:15. I was like, I have to go. This week, I got a chance to do that because the ceremony was happening. And we love ritual. We do. It's our whole deal. It gives us structure. It tells us how to, it allows us to connect. And when we're feeling that frenzied feeling of like, I don't know that I'll ever answer enough emails to get back to everybody, ritual grounds us and allows us to reconnect. So I was really grateful for that today, because it allowed me to slow down in the afternoon and sort of just be while experiencing this really beautiful moment in my friend's life. So I'm really grateful for that. And I just wanted to share that with you. So the other thing that I wanted to share this week is, of course, I love the sound of kids in the building. It's the best. I'm so happy. I love it. I love it. It means that we're doing something right. It's the best. So the other thing I wanted to share with you this week is one of the most famous lines in the Torah is in this week's Torah portion. Tzedek, tzedek tirdof. Justice, justice you shall pursue. And this is a quote that Ruth Bader Ginsburg had up in her office, that David A. Harris has up in his office. And that's my dad. And that reminds us of our commitment to work towards justice. And what does justice mean? Justice doesn't mean like you get some and you get some. Justice it's about wholeness, right? We think about tikkun olam, or this repairing the world, this idea of the world was created, it's these vessels split open and it's our job to put them back together. That's the Kabbalistic interpretation of tikkun olam, right? And so when we're thinking about pursuing justice, we're thinking specifically of like this is given to us, these three words, which appear in so many places in the social justice world, they are in the context of like, do not bear false witness. Do not lie about how much is on a scale, right? Do not cheat somebody out of what they, like a poorer person, out of what they deserve. Oh, good reminders. And then I think back to this idea of like what were our ancestors worked for generations to preserve the Torah for us so we could have this conversation right now. So for them, what did that mean? And for us, what does it mean to be a pursuer of justice? Have you heard like tirdof? It comes from the word rodef. With like, you may have heard like rodef shalom or rodef, the name of a synagogue somewhere. Rodef means pursuer, right? Rodef shalom is like pursuer of peace. And so we are reminded to be pursuers of justice. That's part of being who we are as a people. And we've been that for generations and generations. And I felt really connected to all of our ancestors this afternoon. So I just want to bring that to our forefront because sometimes the world feels really unjust. And like Sid said in the name of the speech last week, I'm not asking all of us to fix everything. Just like one small act can make a huge difference. Shabbat shalom, everybody. I hope that the rest of the weekend is just as lovely as today has been, and that you all find some moments of peace and connection. We're going to take a moment to think of all of the people in our community and in our lives who are in need of healing of body and of mind and of spirit. We're thinking this week specifically of David and Bonnie Zachman, Sheila Henkel, Marsha Wengrow, Stephanie Huey, Harriet Silverman, Marcia Singer, Evelyn Bednarsh, Jackie Harris, Larry Littman, Ted Golden, Richard and Joe Koski, Mickey Berg, Sharon Burns, Tom Rutten, Paul Baltz, Linda Toshbook, and Kelly Carpenter. If there's somebody else you're thinking of this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, I invite you to either stand or raise your hand and share those names aloud if you choose to do so. If you're at home, I invite you to say those names aloud in your space or share them in the chat.
I'm Siegel, Jim Lodge, the Spurgeon family, and the residents of Hawaii.
Robert Golden, Janet Golden,
Zoe Marcus, Judy Casper, Norm Raymond, Palmer, Jerry Korchak, Rosie Richards, brother Jeff, Kyle Lux.
Joan Littman, Jerry Yates, Douglas Comine, Maureen Comine.
We join together for Misha Berach on page 67. Misha Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, Help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shalema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. So before we go to Alenu, I'm going to invite, who's doing announcements? Andy, are you doing them? Yay. Okay, so the microphones aren't plugged in on the Bima, so I'm going to give you my lav to talk into, okay? Not that you have a loud voice, but it's for everybody to hear you. Oh, well, all right. Here you go. All right.
Let's see if I can put this on here. How to do this.
Okay. Go for it.
All righty. Ooh,
Nice, right?
nice.
Isn't it nice to be heard?
We have 2 more wonderful prospective member Shabbat opportunities this fall before the high holidays. Join us on Friday, September 8th for services followed by supper and schmooze. I'm sorry. Supper and schmooze potluck dinner. And young families are invited on Saturday morning, September 9th, for our Young Family Shabbat service. Invite your friends. It will be very fun, I'm sure. This fall, CST will begin a series of activities related to its continuing quest to better understand and act upon important issues of social justice. The sessions are a follow-up to our earlier classes with DJJ and 4 other congregations that centered on issues of racial justice. These activities will focus more, particularly on the relation between racism and mass incarceration. If you are interested in learning more, check your e-blast and/or email Lorelei Berg. Calling young families. Our Shor Hashim program, a social group for elementary age children and siblings, has a fantastic lineup of events for the fall. Stay tuned to the Schreier for details. Rabbi Arnie and Robert are going to Israel next spring. Check out the trip itinerary at shirtikva.org and consider joining them. I noticed that this does not mention camp, but I am going to take a moment to say that even though the official deadline to sign up for camp has passed us, we are still accepting late registrations to those who wish to join us on the beautiful shores of Lake Huron this upcoming weekend. Or I'm sorry, next weekend.
Yeah.
A week from today. Yes. Now, if you want to spend the entire weekend with us, we would love that. And if you do and participate in Friday night's euchre tournament, you have the chance of getting your name on this trophy. It's the Euchre Tournament Kiddush Cup. And Max Isola won 2 years ago. Debbie Amstein won last year. I think they're both going to be defending their titles, but you are welcome to try to dethrone them. And anyone who does will get their name on this beautiful, suitable for framing certificate. And then this will be on display in the showcase in the lobby. Okay? So that's my plug for camp. Sign up for camp. We all love it, and we want to see you there. Have you been joining us either in person or virtually for Shabbat services and are interested in membership or religious school? Please contact our executive director, Lorelei Berg, at info@sheertikva.org with questions or to learn more. Thank you for your attention. Shabbat Shalom.
Hello. Thank you, Andy.
I came with props. Oh,
You
wait,
did a great job.
I've got to give this back.
Yes, please. Hold on, wait, no, I don't want your name tag.
Oh, I got the wrong.
Okay. I mean, I'll be Andy Isola, but I don't think I could live up to the mustache or the voice. So because camp is next weekend, those of us who will be at camp will be at camp. And I believe Becky and Lily and Josh and Ed are leading services on Friday night, which is very exciting. So we're really grateful and looking forward to it. It's going to be so fun. I'm sorry to be missing it, but last year we did stream from camp and it was only okay. So, I mean, we did have to go into the ceiling of camp to make that happen. So we decided maybe no more of that. But it's going to be a lovely service. So if you're in town, I hope you'll join them. I'm grateful that we have folks who are willing to do something exciting and new to help us out. We're going to continue with Elenu, which is on page 74. Becky, you want to help me open the ark? Okay. I invite you all to rise. Aleinu l'shabeach la'adon ha'kol, la'atzed kedula le'otzer bereshit, shelo asanu goy ha'aratzot, velo samanu kamishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkenu kachem, vegor aleinu kechol hamonam, ve'anachnu korim, ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד. Thank you. I invite you all to be seated for a moment. I'm on page 77. The Holy One appears when one thing ends and another thing begins. A baby is born. A child becomes an adult. An old person dies. One enters a room. One leaves a room. One sets out on a journey. Baruch atah bevoecha ubaruch atah mitzetecha. Blessed may you be in your coming out, and blessed may you be in your coming in. God is there in the spaces between, reminding us that we have been, or have all along been destined to live forever. Ascending through higher spirals of awareness and chambers of light, allowing us to remember what has gone before. Now, we are able to hang on to the thread that binds one life awareness to the next, returning finally and again, beings of pure light. This week we are recalling the yahrzeits, the anniversaries of the deaths of Esther Frederick, mother of Sandy Walker, and John Isola, father of Andy Isola. If there's anybody else you are remembering this evening whose name you'd like to share with our community, I invite you to do that.
Isadora Coleman.
We join together in Kaddish Tome on page 78. We rise. Yikadal v'kadash shmei Rabbah, me'alma divara chirute v'yamlich malchute, B'chayechon uvyomechon uchaye zachol beit Yisrael. Ba'agala ubizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehi shmei rabba mevarach le'olam u'lamei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitzadar v'yitzaleh v'yithalal shmei dekudusha brichu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechamata ta'amiran be'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Oseh shalom b'imramav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. May the source of peace bring peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved here and everywhere, to which we say, Amen. I invite you to be seated. We're going to conclude this evening with Odyavo Shalom, which you'll find on the top of page 83. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu, Odyavo Shalom Aleinu, Odyavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu, Odyavo Shalom Aleinu, Odyavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Salam Aleinu ve'al kol ha'olam. Salam Shalom. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu. Odyavo Shalom Aleinu ve'al kulam. And okay, here we go. Got a little oneg situation back there, so we'll do a little. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Hi, everybody. And in the theme of what we talked about this evening, the Tikkun Olam, first and second grade challah cover. The earth has a Band-Aid on it, as you can see. I'm wondering what this says. Something vent, maybe, Jan? Okay. I'm not just asking Jan. Jan's class teaches that class. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lachem min haaretz. Amen. I'm going to set this out there. I'm wishing you all a Shabbat of connection to yourself, to the world, the people who came before you, and to each other. Shabbat shalom, everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us.